All right, guys, I got a 2007 Honda Odyssey here. This is what this baby look like. Um, we're gonna do a valve cover gasket. You see, it's a severe leak down here. It's kind of really bad down here. I'm gonna get this customer a new PCV valve as well, and we're gonna do one in the back and the front. But the problem here is this intake is on our way. This whole big turtle looking right here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove this pipe. Very simple, just pull on it. We're gonna disconnect this sensor here. We're gonna take off this 10 millimeter here. Not take it off, loosen it. We're gonna loosen this right here. This duct pipe should just come off, or we just push this to the side, or we'll remove the, you know what, instead of loosening this, we'll just loosen up the bolts on the air filter housing here, so the whole thing could go this way. All you need is a few millimeters, and then we got some coolant lines down there, I believe, or we don't. Okay, this one doesn't have coolant lines. Some throttle bodies have coolant lines, so we're gonna disconnect the throttle body. It's okay if you get a check engine, that's fine. What we're gonna also do is we're gonna disconnect this little guy right here, and you're gonna take this connector out of here, and very important, you put this back on, and we're gonna take off this. We're gonna take off that 10 millimeter right there. We're gonna disconnect this as well. Let's do it right now. Come on, sometimes you need a screwdriver. There you go. Okay, all we got left is this and a few things. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off right here, 10 millimeter, and the housing has 8 millimeters. So, and then very important pipe. You see this pipe right here? This is it goes through the brake booster right there. Very important. If you leave this out, once you're done, make sure you put this back in. We're gonna take this clamp, push this out of the way. And once everything is out of the way, nothing is connected, also this pipe gotta go. We're gonna take off 10 millimeter all around on this top cover here. And there's a 10 millimeter. There are different sizes, okay? So keep them in order, okay? And make sure you don't drop nothing inside. Very important, okay? Anyways, let's get this job going. And what we're gonna do is we're also gonna take off the ignition coils later on, but let's get the intake off first. Once we get the intake off, we're gonna put a rag so nothing can fall inside the engine. Anyways, let this job begin. Okay, so what we're gonna do is this duct pipe is kind of cracked right here. You can see it's broken right in the center, so a new one would be a good idea. Okay, and this was loose, so definitely gonna order my new duct pipe right here. You can see it's cracked, and even down here is cracked. Hard to see with the light, but you see that? Look at the condition of it. Anyways, mass airflow sensor, if this is cracked, you're gonna get lean codes, okay? Anyways, we will replace that, and what we're gonna do is, you see, so it's not even held by that. So we're gonna go get some we're gonna get needle nose pliers, remove this, and then we're gonna get number 8 millimeter here. One thing I want to say is don't put any of your bolts up there. Don't put anything up there, because anything that you hit can just fall down. You're not even gonna know how many bolts fell down. So let's take off this clamp. Let's take off. See how sometimes the pipe just moves with it. So sometimes you could just push the pipe with it, and very important pipe here, vacuum line for brake booster. So make sure this baby goes back on. So what we're gonna do is, so I'm gonna get that off. No problem, we'll get that off. Same thing here. You have to, sometimes these pipes, they won't just come out that easy. And it's better you just take your needle nose and just help them out, support them a bit. Sometimes you can just push them back. Sometimes your clamp is not all the way out. You think it's out, but it's not. So this was it was holding a little bit. So I'm gonna go a little bit more back, and now things should be easy. Okay, I will get that off as well, and I am gonna take off this clamp. This clamp is not easy, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna disconnect this. So we're moving little by little. You're gonna see me have this off, probably not in front of the camera, but anyway, I'm gonna switch up my socket. Got an 8 millimeter. Remember, you don't want to put nothing in there, not even tools, not bolts, because anything there, just check. Sometimes there's some things left behind from another repair, so that thing is there. You don't want nothing falling in that baby. So what I'm gonna do next is 8 millimeter. Sometimes these bolts won't even come out. They will strip from the bottom. That's fine, that's okay. And there's one back here somewhere. I'm gonna have to get a longer extension probably. Yep. And There you go. So if the filter looks dirty, change that as well. Okay, so I still gotta get the one back here. There you go. Losing them completely. Sometimes they hold on a little bit and they will not come off. Okay, if you're replacing your filter, this is what you're going to be doing, okay? Make sure this MAF sensor, once you're done, is connected. If you turn on the key by any chance, you're going to have a check in your life for all these sensors, okay? It's okay, just reset it. Disconnecting the battery wouldn't be a good idea because your radio code will activate. Anyway, so far looking good. Let me take off these pipes, and what you want to do at this point is this whole thing will come off. This is broken. Remember, this is broken. It's fine for. Oh, there's another pipe down there, but this is all part of it. It's one pipe. So I'm going to have all these pipes off. Okay, so far I got all the pipes off. Vacuum lines, vacuum lines. This is down here. You got two cooling pipes. We're not taking them off, okay? We're not taking them off. So what we're going to do is we're going to take off the throttle body. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a seal in between. So when you take this off, go slowly and we'll do it together. You don't want to break that seal. So at this point, we don't even need to disconnect this little guy. So we'll just let this thing hang down this way. Okay, so next up, 12 millimeters on this. So what I like to do is let's go on the harder ones first. So one in the bottom here. And okay, my socket just turned sideways. It's loose, so let's loosen this up. There you go. There you go. And I'm gonna put this to the side. Don't worry, I'm gonna remove it before we even get to the intake part. And I'm gonna take off this little guy in the bottom here. This guy comes off. You got 2 nuts in the top. 1, I'm gonna loosen it a bit. And 2. Okay, my socket stayed behind. It's okay. And you don't want to drop these. It's gonna be hard for you to find them down there, so make sure you grab them really good. And this guy comes off. Okay, now we're gonna take off the throttle body. We're gonna just slide it forward and leave it to the side. So I don't want to take my bolts, put them there. Okay, now remember there's a seal in between. There's a seal right there. So there should be nothing else holding this throttle body, and just the pipes in the bottom. But we got more than enough clearance. So sometimes you need to wiggle this guy a bit. So let me get this going. Sometimes you had to kind of tap it, and one hand sucks. Anyways, let me try to break the tightness loose out of it, and then we'll start continuing to record. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're pulling this forward, okay? It's okay if your throttle body doesn't go all the way because of these pipes, because what we can do is lift up the intake and slide the intake out of here, but make sure everything is loose. So we can let this sit right here. Our gasket didn't break into pieces. Okay, so that's perfectly good. So what I want to do is I want to take off this 10 millimeter, and then we want to observe if there's anything else around it. If any of this harness is holding it, but I don't think any of this harness is holding it. But this pipe looks kind of crappy, but that's fine. And you want to take off this pipe right here. Same thing, okay, take the clamp off. Try to wiggle this around so it can become loose, and after that, you can just use your needle nose. This is how I took off all the vacuum lines. That is the only way. And this baby comes off, and this is gonna stay with the intake. I'm sorry, with the valve cover. Okay, so that's that. What I want to do is I want to got this 10 millimeter here, so we do got a bolt right here onto this evap purge valve. This is a purge valve. Wrong way. You can loosen this bolt and then do it by hand. Should come off. It's not a small job. This is kind of, it's a high-tech job, okay? So there is one more bolt in the bottom. There's 2 bolts, not 1. So, so I'm gonna decide. since we already have disconnected this. So if I disconnect the bottom pipe, it should come off, but I'm gonna go get just a socket and get the bottom bolt off. Just like this bolt, this one in the bottom. Okay, so I got this 10 millimeter off, and this is loose, it's out of the way. So now we're gonna get critical here. We're gonna take off all these bolts, keep them in order, okay? And some of them are longer, some of them are shorter, some of them are nuts. So pay attention. Okay, so here goes nothing. One. Whoops, it's not supposed to do that. Okay, all I want to do is loosen them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got a nut here. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oops, there you go, 12. So am I correct here? This is a 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 all together, okay? So observe them. If they're the same length, good. If they're not, so far they all same length. I'm gonna leave the nuts behind. That'll be the last thing I take off. There's another one. Working on this good old V6. If you got a TL pilot, they're all the same thing. Okay, there you go. Okay, so far they're all the same size. I'm gonna just put them here. Even this is same. Okay, so I'm guessing they're all the same. I've done so many of these years back. I know something. Maybe the bolts inside. Yup, the bolts inside. The bolts are on the inside. So this little guy will come apart, and there's a gasket there. So if you want to leave that gasket alone right there, that's fine. Okay, if you get a new one, replace it. But anyways, that's what it is. This baby comes right off. We're gonna put this right here safely. Okay, so far looking good. Inside here, you don't want to drop nothing. Okay, we got a bolt. We got all these bolts. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The 12 millimeters, not the 10 millimeters, the 12 millimeters. That's what we're taking apart. So we're gonna loosen them. Remember, there's nuts in here, so you don't want to, and then they fall inside. Go easy on them. Okay, I want to got some rags here. I'm gonna let them sit over here. So just for safety, I'm gonna just stick this guy in here, just for safety for that one little nut. Then I'm gonna loosen it up. It's loose. And I'm gonna fish it out. Remember, you cannot drop this little guy, because if you drop it, you're in trouble. I'm in trouble. We're all in trouble. Trying to get this guy from down there is not gonna be fun. And this rag is kind of bothering me now. So you want to do this slowly and gently. Once it's to the top, you want to start grabbing it. And okay, it keeps catching the one last thread. Okay, it's not fun. Okay, there you go. We're gonna take this baby and we're gonna put it right here. Okay, remember, you got one more nut in here. Okay, once you have that off, these bolts are really not a big deal. You can't drop them, but they're super tight. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna loosen them all off, and then we'll take them all out together. Okay, so I pre-loosened them all, and I took off that nut from right there. So what we're gonna do is a bolt. They're all loose, so you can just let them sit like that. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't lose that one. So I'm gonna take my ratchet, and I'm gonna get that. All you need to do is lift this, lift this, lift this. Don't drop nothing in there, even these bolts. Once they go to that spot, magic spot, you're never gonna get it. So that one's got to come off too. So I'm gonna put these to the side. So I'm gonna get that last one out, and once I have that off, we'll come back. Okay, so this is the only good angle I could get with my camera to be mounted. My mount is broken, but anyways, I got that last bolt from right here out, the one I couldn't see. From this angle, you can't see that one. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 4, 6, 7 bolts and 2 nuts. So total 2, 4, 6, 8 together. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna lift up this intake. Okay, remember you got studs in here. The 2 nuts that come out, those are studs. So this needs to go pretty high. It needs to go straight up. Our throttle body might bother us, so it is gonna bother us. I thought it would not affect us, but I'm gonna try to get that throttle body out of there. Okay, so I had more than enough clearance to get that throttle body. I did not disconnect the pipes on it. I'm gonna show you that in a moment. But all you wanna do is you wanna lift this up straight. Nothing can fall in there, okay? Nothing can fall inside there. Okay, I put my throttle body down. So we're gonna cover up these bores, okay? These holes. Nothing can fall in there, nothing whatsoever. So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna show you how to do the valve cover here. It's the same procedure in the back. Okay. You're not gonna see me do that one, but it's the same procedure. You got a little bit of harness gonna bother you there, so you're gonna have to work some magic. Try to push that harness out of the way, lift it up a bit. You're gonna have to disconnect. You're gonna have to take off 10 millimeters of these, and it is a little difficult in the back. But other than that, you see the throttle body. Still got the pipes on. I still got the pipes on that. So I had more than enough. You just gotta yank it a bit and let it just come out. Anyways, take your rag. First thing first. You want to cover up this, okay? You don't want nothing going in here. You don't want nothing falling in here. Very important. Very important. Okay, if you got better rag than me, got 2 rags, put them on, because you don't want nothing in there. You don't want that trouble. Been there, done that. Anyways, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to disconnect these coils. Okay, I'm going to disconnect these coils. Okay, I'm gonna disconnect these coils and I'm gonna take off the Allens of them. I do have videos on how to take these off. And then I'm gonna take off the 10 millimeter. We already got this vacuum pipe off over here. If there's anything else connected around it, remove it. I don't think there's anything else connected to this. This dipstick gotta come off, I forgot. This dipstick gotta come out. So take off your dipstick, just put it to the side. And yeah, there's nothing else. That PCV valve is in there, so that'd be a good idea to do a PCV valve at the same time. Anyways, let's continue and let's keep it going. Okay, so far what I did was you're gonna put this tab right here. You're gonna push on it. This comes out. Same thing here. You're gonna push on this, and this harness will come off very easily, just like that. And you gotta disconnect these coils. Just squeeze on the connectors here. Pam, pam, pam. 3 of them come out. You do got a connector going down there, an oxygen sensor. That's fine, because all we need is a little bit of clearance so this guy can come out. Okay, it'd be a good idea if we disconnect this sensor. So I am going to disconnect this sensor and we'll connect it back. Okay, so the coil's got to come off. Okay, so I disconnected the oxygen sensor. Your oxygen sensor might be connected to that little metal bracket right here, down here. Right there, guys. Hard to make that little guy. So this one was loose already. So I'm using a 6 millimeter Allen key here. So you just need to loosen that. That one was loose too. So just loosen these. And then you should be able to take off all these bolts of this ignition coil and pull out the ignition coil. So what I'm going to do is so far you've seen 2 come out. The third one is going to come out too. And once I have this bolt over here, you should be able to pull out these coils, okay? If you got oil on these and you're having a misfire, that'd be another reason why you want to do a valve cover gasket. So there's 2. I'm going to get this third one out of here right now. And the back one might look a little complicated, but it's not so bad. Long as you take off the harness, push it to the side a bit, and you're gonna believe me, you're gonna be spending more time there than here. But this is all freaking, oh, there goes the coil. It doesn't matter what order you keep them, it's not a big deal. So I'm gonna throw this on the floor. I'm gonna go clean my hands. I'm gonna come back. So there's 2 connectors here. I forgot. There's 2 connectors here. You see that? 1 and 2. One is gray. It's connected to that orange wire down there, and this guy goes out our way. It's perfect. See, this pipe is here. This is fine. So it's the moment of truth. We're gonna take off this bolt. We're gonna take off this bolt, and that bolt. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, if y'all miss anything, I'm sorry, but that's all I see. So my electric gun is not gonna go there, but pretty much what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you one or two, and then you're gonna be taking off these by hand. Okay, so pretty much you want to take your wrench here, and you want to turn this. You want it, okay, pretty small bolts, and you want to turn this. You want to do the same thing for all of them, and you want to get all the bolts off. So this is gonna bother me right here. You can simply just bend this if you want, and or you take off these 10 millimeters. Okay, there you go. And then you got one back here, and your valve cover should be loose. Remember, you cannot drop nothing inside this either, and work on one gasket first and then go to the next one, because you're gonna make a mess, and you're gonna forget what goes where. So go easy. What I want to do is I want to switch up my sockets here to make the job a bit faster. 10 millimeter. So these just simply come off. If they're different sizes, keep them in order, and don't lose anything. And so let me get them all off, and then we will continue once the valve gasket is ready to come out. Valve cover is ready to come out. Okay, everything is out. This bolt is long, this bolt is long, this bolt is short, and the two in the bottom are long. As you can see, I kept them in order right there. Okay, you can't put the long one in the short place or the short one in the long place. Okay, let's see if our valve cover here budges, and did I miss anything? And don't see anything, but sometimes it's just stuck there. So what you want to do is you want to get a flathead screwdriver and stick it to the side and wiggle it. Get yourself a flathead screwdriver and just try to put it right to the side here, and just yank on it just like that, and it will pop up and loosen up. If there's any bolt left behind, it won't just come out. So simply this whole thing is gonna come out. So what I want to do is I want to put top of this trash here. That's fine. So this gasket is gone. It was leaking really bad right from the front. So it's usually tilted. It's usually, this is the point where it leaks from. So it will tell you alternate and all that. You don't want none of that. So what we're gonna do is you have to clean this whole area up, okay? And then it does have grommets, so you do want to put new grommets. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this on the bench over there a bit, and we're gonna take this baby all apart, and let's see how this goes. While we're here, what we're gonna do is, my camera is near death. Battery's gone almost. So simple thing you want to do is you want to clean this dust. Try to keep the dust to come out, okay? Do not try to push it inward. So this baby simply is gonna come out, okay? And make sure it's clean, okay? Don't just leave anything behind, okay? Because the gasket won't sit properly. There you go. So we do got a little piece here. I think this is from one of the old ignition coils. There you go. That's a lid from the ignition coil. And it's this top piece that was there. It's garbage. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna clean the crap out of it. So what you want to do is just take a rag, clean all around, make sure it's nice and clean. Use a blade if you need to scrape anything. So this is gonna be all cleaned up. A little bit off the camera. So that's all I'm gonna do. And same thing over there. Once you pull this gasket off, this gasket simply should just come off. And sometimes it's so hard that it don't want to come out. You have to stick something in there and pull it out. Once it pulls out, the whole thing will peel. But we're gonna take this on the bench and do it. So me being a mechanic, the phone freaking rings. Okay, as a mechanic, I told you guys to do one at a time, then move on to the next one. But me, mechanic, Mr. Mechanic guy, took the whole thing apart. So you got a pipe here. Let me just sum everything up. You got a pipe here. You got a 10 millimeter bolt right here, and then there's one over here on the back end right here, and this harness will become loose. You see the hole right there, right there, right about 6 o'clock. It's hard to get in here with the light. Power steering line is gonna have a 10 millimeter bolt connected to the valve cover, but somebody worked on this vehicle. I saw them missing. 3 coils, just like we did in the front. 3 coils. Disconnect them. Take off the Allen keys, screws of them. Disconnect the injectors. Okay, and these clips are already broken, but you're gonna use something to push them off. There's a bolt down on the valve cover. It's like right underneath this little plastic harness here. So all you need to do is push this up. Try to use a gear wrench. That's what I used, a gear wrench, and got that off. And same amount of bolt, same thing, same procedure. That's all. Okay, so it's 1 bolt, 2 bolt, 3 on the coil, and then the valve cover bolts. I just fished them out right from here, and the one over there. Connectors, pipe. The thing came right off. And already started to clean this up. My camera is really low on power, so I'm gonna let it charge up. Meanwhile, at least I'll finish up the rear valve cover, and then I'll do the video on the front one here. One more thing, okay, so have somebody help you lift this up. So your valve cover is gonna lift up, and then you're gonna twist it out of here like this. Okay, you're gonna twist it, you're gonna lift the back end, and you're gonna twist it out this way. And putting it back, pay attention, gasket's got to be in there, and you put it back and you slip it on. Okay, make sure the grommets go into these cylinder bores here. Anyways, it'd be a good time for you to do the spark plugs. Okay, one more thing, the ignition coil. This ignition coil that's here, okay? The pipe is gonna bother you. Just squeeze the pipe with the finger and twist the coil out of there. It comes right off, okay, like a magic. You don't need to take that pipe off. Do not take that pipe off. You're gonna spill coolant everywhere. Anyways, magic job. I got both of the covers. While it's on here, I'm gonna work on this and that one we'll do on the camera, so you guys can see exactly what I do to this, I'm gonna do to that. What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. Today's video, we got a valve gasket for this Honda Odyssey over here. We got grommets, we got a valve cover, the whole gasket is leaking, and these bolts have seals on them. So I'm gonna show you guys how to change this completely. First of all, this thing is super dirty. So one thing to know is we're gonna have to change the grommet. So if you ever get an oil inside your spark plug bore, that'd be one thing that you don't want. So just want to clean things up a little bit before we start. And let me get this cleaned up a bit, and then I'm going to continue. Something like this, dealer's not even going to be able to do for you because time is money to them. And little things like these bolts, seals, they're not even going to change. So in the gasket, in the kit, you will get everything complete. And it is not that hard, okay? It is not that hard to change these. So you guys gonna see me do this right here, right now. First of all, we don't want any of this dirt and debris going inside. So let me get some of this stuff I got in here out. And what we're gonna do here is, that's what I'm gonna clean it first. A lot of people will put this into a cleaner. Don't have machines like that for me and myself. I'm gonna go get another rag, and we're gonna continue this in a moment. Okay, so I'm back. I've been cleaning a little bit off the camera. So first of all, this seal has hardened up. So winter comes around, it gets cold, it will start to leak even worse than before. This thing has even cracks on it. So what you want to do is a couple of tools you're gonna see me running with. Just pay attention to everything that I'm using. First of all, we're gonna take the seal out here, okay? So what I like to do is I like to use a pick or something. Just find a good spot. The plastic feels kind of soft here. So I'll go in here, I'll dig deep with this little guy, and once it comes out, you can grab it, lift it, and peel the whole thing, okay? This is a pretty good, glove is ripped, but I'm not afraid of getting my hands dirty, even though you will never see me without gloves. So once you get this baby off, you just peel this guy all around. There you go, perfect. Bang, get out of there. There you go. So a few things we want to do. First of all, we got a complete set of seals here. Gasket, get yourself a gasket. It comes as a set. What we're gonna do next is I got a couple of tools. You can use a pry bar screwdriver. This is what I use most of the time. This baby works great to get this grommet off. So pretty much going back of it, and okay, these are so hardened up, like they crack. Okay, but they will come off. My tools are falling. There you go. This baby didn't come out all the way, but I will get these off completely. Sometimes you gotta put a screwdriver on. That's how bad these are. These grommets are shot pretty much. So bear with me here. The other side came out pretty easy, but I didn't record the other side. There you go. The magic work is being done right now. See, there you go. They're so brittle. They're like popcorn. They're like popcorn. There you go. That's done. So our next step is to clean a little bit around it. I'm gonna go get another rag. I'm gonna need a lot of rags for this baby right here. Here goes nothing. So what I like to do is, you want to clean the inside. Clean it very well, okay? Make it nice and shiny. It should probably just take you a few seconds per each because all the dust just comes out. Anyways, once this is out, this is all cleaned out. I'm gonna clean this one a bit more. Okay, my camera fell. Wow. Need to get me some serious mounts here for the camera. So clean this out really well. What I like to use is, if you got a hard corner or these rags, just stick this in there. You want to go all around into the bore, into the groove where the gasket is sitting at, okay? You want to go all around just like that. Clean this baby up. So this is all you prepping, okay? This is all you're doing here is prep everything, okay? So there you go, that's that. I'm gonna clean this a little bit more. Okay, and a bit more. There you go. It's time for the grommets to go in. So new grommets, here they are. This is what they look like. This is called the grommet. So this oval looking thing is gonna, just like that, it's gonna face. So this inside is gonna be facing down this way, okay? Even though we got the gasket valve cover upside down, this looks in very bad condition. So if you want to replace the gasket, the whole cover, it's all up to you. I got a little bit of oil here. Put some finger oil on your fingers, and you want to go all around it. Okay, so what you want to do here is, you want to take your grommet, just place it in the spot, okay? And you want to push down on it. This should go really easy in, okay? My old grommets broke, but I'm going to take one of the old ones. Where did I put it? Okay, let me grab it. Okay, so what I like to do here is use a rubber hammer. A lot of people will hit on it, which I don't see wrong with it, but this is all brittled up. So let me grab one of the other old grommets from the other gasket and work with that, okay? I don't even know where they all go. Okay, here it is. There's one. So you just want to put this on top of it, and remember, this is plastic, okay? We're not using anything metal here. And your grommet should go flush, really in there. You couldn't even use a socket of the size, okay? You know what I'll do? For the next one, I'll get a socket of the size. I'm gonna go get it right now. I'm gonna complete this with the socket. Okay, so what I got is, I went and got me a socket of the same size that fits here. And I'm gonna put this on top. Remember, you can only hit the edges. You cannot hit. There you go. That's much more like it. And perfect. Okay, so next step, I'm gonna do the same thing for the next grommet. You do want to put oil all around it. Put oil all around it. And we're gonna put this on. I like to start it with fingers first because it goes in. This thing is so easy. It's in there. All I'm doing is I'm just giving it a little bit of more pushness to it. It's already in there. And there you go. You can hear my socket touch the edge of the wall cover itself. So one last grommet on the floor here. Same thing. Same thing here. So next step, I'm going to show you guys how to do the seals on the bolt. So same thing here. Let's get this going with the fingers. It's in, okay? If I push a little bit more harder, the baby should just be in. And this goes right in. Bada bing, bada boom. Very simple and easy, okay? Now you probably are thinking, okay, it's a hell of a mess on this. And now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you one or two how to change these little guys, okay? So very simple, very simple. These are so hard you could probably just break them, but sometimes I like to use a knife and I like to just cut them a bit. Just put some little holes all around them, okay? Like small little cuts on that. And then I like to use a plier, such as this plier. And I like to use what fell was my lighter, my little torch. And it's back here somewhere. There you go. So what you want to do here is you want to just get this thing nice and hot. The plastic will melt. The plastic will get soft and melt. And what I like to do is use another plier. I'm sure a lot of people got other ways to do this. You couldn't even throw it in the hot boiling water and it will soften up. But you don't want to do this on top of the engine. Remember, things you don't want to drop nothing inside the block. And this thing will, if you get that little metal washer, oh, there you go. It went back on its own. If you get that to back off, after that, should be a piece of cake. Should be a piece of cake. There you go. This baby is all out. And magic. This is where the magic happens. There you go. This guy is out. This metal piece will come off. Clean this up really well. I'm gonna do this with all the bolts. Okay, this is pretty much, you have to prep this guy. So, you wanna take one of these grommets for the bolts. You don't wanna just stick it in there like that. What I like to do is, I like to put a little tap of oil inside here, on here, make things easy. No heat, no nothing required. You take your finger and you squeeze it and this baby goes on just like that. Very simple. Do that to all of them. And let me show you another one. Okay, let's do another one. And we're gonna do the same thing, same process. Okay, let me switch up my pliers. Up, up, up. There you go. Same process here. Okay, this is a little shorter one. If you want to go ahead, start throwing heat on it, go ahead. You don't even have to do the cutting part. Splicing this little guy. So small little splices in this would help me out there. Then the magic heat would be another part that's gonna help me out here really well. Just using a small little torch lighter. Spending good 30 minutes on this gasket, prep it, throw it in there, bada bing, bada boom. And let's say you don't have two needle nose. You use a screwdriver if you want. Use a screwdriver. Okay, I'm gonna use the other needle nose instead of this plier because I could go deep in there. And this baby will just come right off. Once your the back metal piece comes off after that, it shouldn't even be that hard. There you go. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay. I made that as simple as possible for you guys. Let's clean this up. Okay, it's gonna come with all the grommets for all the bolts for both valve gasket in this kit. So what we got next is a little bit of oil. In there, a little bit of oil here. Onto the lip right there so that it can slip right through. You take your fingers and you just pretty much squeeze this guy really well and it's gonna snap in there just like that. So we did two. I'm gonna do the rest of them and we're gonna come right back and then we'll take this onto the car. So I decided to show you guys one last one because I did them all. So what you're gonna do is no knife, no nothing, just tap, tap, tap. This metal piece will come off. After that, you wanna grab this little guy. You just wanna break this guy. Okay. Just twist it, turn it, whatever you gotta do. It will break off. There you go. And it comes off. So same thing again. This metal piece gotta go. Since we're replacing it, and what you want to do is clean this up. The last one I decided to show you guys. So if you guys are watching this with a little bit of oil, that's what I'm putting, oil and oil, fresh oil. So all I have in this cap is a fresh engine oil, just a regular motor oil. So it's gonna help the seal go right in easy if you put lube on it. All you do is you grab this and you squeeze it and it goes right in. Bada bing, bada boom. No, nothing else is what you need to do. So next step here is We're gonna flip this over. Oh, we got a lot of dirt there. So what I want to do is, you want to clean where these grommets are gonna sit, because right now is your chance. It's easy. Okay, you want to clean these. Okay, doing this stuff, dealer is not gonna do it for you, because I've seen dealers work. Clean all back and front where the seals are gonna sit. Okay, a lot of mechanic fail to do this stuff. Anyway, so much build up on this. Not much I could do there. A lot of mechanics fail to do this because they want cars in and out. Okay, so if it's your car, you want to do it properly, you want to do it right, this is the way. Anyways, after all, we got our gasket. Gasket has this little lip. It doesn't matter where you put it, front, back, long as you can. It's just to this is gonna be the bottom edge of it. Pretty much, it's not gonna stick in there, so you cannot stick this in there. So this gasket is simply gonna go in just like that. And I did the back one. The back one was much cleaner because it doesn't get that dirty, but it does leak. So we do have this little curve to it, but that's fine. Okay, because it's all perfectly straight and round. And this baby goes in, just push it in, no silicone, no nothing. Okay, so we have successfully changed all the grommets. We have successfully, what I want to do here is I do want to tap these a bit down from one side. Okay, just pay attention, they're not all from one side. Tap, tap, tap. This one looks pretty good. A little bit on this side. There you go. Okay, and the bore, spark plug bores will stick right through there. So make sure that goes through there. So this is about a bing. The other end, I'm still working on cleaning. So that's how you're gonna prep this little guy. So everything that we did here, probably gonna take you 30 to 40 minutes max. All right, so we're gonna take this baby onto the car next. Okay, everything is ready to go, and what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna grab this little guy. So remember, your gasket cannot fall off. Okay, make sure that end is clean, it's nice and clean. And a little nervous here with the one hand in the camera, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna simply take this little guy, and it's gonna sit right in the center. Make sure the spark plug board, the grommet, make sure you guide them a bit, and they will eventually go in. And what we're gonna do next is we're gonna take the bolts and put them in, so this thing is perfectly in there. Okay, my camera is kind of getting low on battery, so what I want to do is I'm gonna take this baby and put it back to charge. But meanwhile, what I want to do is you want to take the bolts. The little bolt goes here, so it's gonna probably, the grommets are probably gonna bother you, but make sure those grommets are in properly and into the cylinder bores for the spark plugs. And okay, one thing I want to say is for the back is all done. The gasket's in there and everything is in there. On this harness, I forgot to mention, if you take off that little clip, this harness gives you much more clearance, and it's just as easy as this. So what I want to do is I want to get all the bolts in, make sure the center bores are good, and it's a bada bing, bada boom job. So let's continue this job, and I'll put my camera to charge because we spent a lot of time on prepping this guy. So what I want to do is I'm going to put these bolts in, I'm going to tighten them. I'm going to put the coils in, I'm going to put the bolts on the coil, and I'm going to bring it over my harness and put everything back together here, and then we'll just finish out the rest of the job. Okay guys, I'm sorry, but like I said, camera has to be charging, it has to be charged. Got the coils in, torque squeak, a tightening sequence. I would tighten these two up, snug them up really good, and this, so go back and forth on these, tighten them really nice, and then do the two on the edges. Bada bing, bada boom. Get your dipstick in, got the connectors in, got the harness in. Make sure you connect those two sensors down there. Remember, thing was gonna fall in there, so this thing protects everything. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna lift this up. It's time for the gasket. Make sure this gasket is there, unless if it goes with your intake there, make sure you place it here first, okay? Sometimes this gasket can go wrong way, okay? Then you will have vacuum leak, all kinds of stuff, okay? Anyways, at the end of the video, I will show you guys all the torque sequence and the torque for everything. So pretty much, get this pipe in there. I do need to get this clamp in there. I'm gonna get that in there right now, and then we're gonna put the whole intake in there. Okay, so moment of truth. and make sure there's nothing stuck onto this. And so all you need to do is guide the two bolts, these studded bolts, and they both got to go in together, so one can't go in because the other one will not drop dead after that. And on this side, my throttle body is bothering me. There you go. Bada bing, bada boom. It should sit nice and even. And all I need to do is put the bolts on. So before you start tightening anything, put anything bolt, make sure nothing is stuck between the intake, like pipes, vacuum lines, because it's gonna pinch and it's gonna destroy it. So slowly take your nuts, put the nuts on first if you like. Make sure you get them all, and then tighten them. I'm gonna take the second one slowly and gently, no dropping, no letting go till it catches the threads. It's got to be under my control the whole time. There you go. After that, you could just spin it, and we'll take the 12mm here. Even your tools here, okay? This tool can go in there. It'd be easy to get the tool out, but those little nuts and bolts, it's a different story. So grab a few of these and start putting them in. Bada bing, bada boom, there you go. So taking off, and the reverse procedure is the same. This goes there, this goes here, and there's one over here. And what I want to do is I'm going to put extension onto my socket. So to tighten these, I will start from the one in the middle, snug it all the way up. First catch the threads on all of them. That's number one. And no power tools here. No power tools. There you go. So you want to tighten these babies to proper spec. So I will give you those specs, even though you will not see me do it in front of the camera. There's a reason behind for that. We had issues. Everything is by lawyer now. Sometimes one person messes it up for everybody. Okay, so to tighten these, tighten this, tighten that, tighten this. So then you work your way out, okay? And then do all of them in any order. I don't care, you do this one first or this one first. Just work your way out. Get this one first, then this one, and work your way out. Work your way out. So the gasket and everything goes flush. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tighten these, and then we're gonna come back and put the lid on the top. Okay, all of these are nice and tight. One thing I wanna say, you're not a mechanic if you don't know your hand. You gotta know your hand. Meaning, sometimes you can tighten things without torquing. Anyways, mechanic should have a good feel of a hand. This guy goes on next, so it's only gonna go one way. You cannot go wrong, okay? So this baby sits like that onto that stud there, and then this side, bada bing, bada boom. Put all the bolts in. They're all the same thing. That's what we figured out. Remember, in the beginning of the video, they're all the same thing. And same thing with these. Tighten them and work your way out. So start with the center bolt here, tighten this, then tighten these two, then these two. You could do crisscross, and then you work your way out. So what I want to do is I want to get all these in, and then I'm going to tighten these up. Again, same scenario. Where's my 10mm? I got it right here. So just want to get them snugged in there. So I'm going to get them all on, and I'm going to tighten them. I'm going to come back, and I'm going to put the throttle on. You know what? Let's put the throttle on right now. And what you want to do here is, remember, these pipes do have enough clearance. In the beginning, I had struggled, but then I stopped. And so we got the cover in, and this throttle body goes in. And the throttle body has 2 nuts and 2 bolts. So we still got to tighten this. So what I want to do is I'm going to tighten everything up. So there's 2 nuts here, one on the other side, and 2 bolts. And then these 2 bolts right here is for the evap sensor back there. I'll get that in. So what I want to do here is pretty much I want to sum up this job, and then I got a new duct pipe coming in. It's very important, and I'll do a separate video on that. So if you got lean codes on this baby, it could be most likely that's what it is. But so this is all done. Make sure you put the vacuum pipes in. Okay, this vacuum line's got to go in. Okay, before we even proceed anywhere, very important pipe. Remember this vacuum line here. This is for the brake booster back here. So if you don't put this in, your brakes are not gonna stop the car. They're not gonna work. And we'll do all this together. You got a vacuum line here, and you got a connector here. There's not a whole lot on this connector here. Connector for the mass airflow sensor. This is pretty much bada bing, bada boom job. It's all done. And put the duct pipe on, change your filter if you need to. It's all done pretty much. Okay, so we'll sum up this job with the torque specs next.